How's it going, guys? It's Rafi from Beyond the Huddle, and welcome to this week's Bitcoin forecast. First, we're going to get started with the SMI. That's a smart money sentiment indicator to show you guys the accumulation and distribution in the spot market. Then we'll move on to the COT, where we can show you guys the asset managers and how they've been accumulating or distributing their positions through the leverage markets. And then we're going to wrap it up with some price action analysis so you guys can see our Bitcoin monthly and weekly level, along with some future predictions and targets that we might have in mind. So with that being said, let's get started. So getting started here with the SMI, I have chosen to just bring you guys here to the Discord, and we can take a look at the last time that these alerts came in, and that was at 11 o'clock in the morning. And we can see here that the long-term market sentiment right here has actually turned. So we actually switched it up a little bit. We ended up adding on different colors, so we can start to see when things got more extreme, right? When there was a lot of accumulation or a very weak accumulation. So you guys can see right here the legend on the bottom left, and that will help us differentiate between really strong accumulation, like I just said, and weak accumulation and so on. So anyways, we can see that right here as the low is being formed from the 6th all the way to the 11th. There was actually the strongest amount of accumulation, and that's what I was waiting for right here. So basically, when these type of levels in accumulation were hit, we definitely expected, and that's the long term, right? So that means the long term players were accumulating on a very aggressive amount right here than they usually do. You can see right here, although so before we had it just everything was green, but now we can definitely see the differences between when they get aggressive and when they don't. So you can see right here they got really aggressive right there, and that led to this tiny bounce because the accumulation didn't last too long, right? So obviously, if they go from really strong accumulation to just regular to the weak accumulation, then that means that it must have gotten a bit more bearish, right? So the distribution that happened made it go from really strong to not as strong. Then you can see right here, we had just one bar of strong accumulation. Obviously, they were still accumulating the entire time, but it wasn't as strong, and that led to this tiny bounce, swing high, swing low, premium sell. And they accumulated a few more times here and a couple more bars. But here, this is the type of stuff you want to see. You want when they all stack up together in multiple bars across a few days. That's when you really want to start looking for your buy opportunities, as they will be really nice. So you can see right here that because price has rallied, we have seen some interesting amounts of distribution. Now, what we don't want to see is strong distribution hit the market. If that happens, if we get clusters of red or even yellow, then that means that the market has started to be more distribution than accumulation, and we will want to be careful. So looking here at the short term, we can see pretty much the same thing. They're both telling us that there was a lot of strong accumulation at this low right here, and that's why this week, which I'll go over later when we opened up above our weekly level, we definitely wanted to be buyers. So that's what I have right here, guys. We can definitely see that on the SMI, the Smart Money Sentiment Indicator, the long term and the short term were accumulating at this low in a strong in a strong way, and now they have lessened. So what we don't want to see is this, like I said earlier, turn red. If this turns red and then we go below our weekly level, or we lose some sort of strong support, then we want to start to reduce our position and our exposure in the market, as that will cause 5 to 10 and so on and so forth percentage move lower in the market. So let's move on to the COT and see what the asset managers have been up to. Okay, so moving on here to the COT part of the video, we can see that the Bitcoin contracts here for the Chicago Mercantile Exchange as of January 4th have actually reduced 13 contracts for the asset managers to a total of 5,541, and they've actually increased 41 short contracts to a total of 900. Now again, like I've been saying forever now, that's great and all, but it still doesn't change the percentage. We're at 86% long, and that actually isn't even that big of a change compared to last week. So if we come here to the indicator, we can see this is the percentage right here. So first we'll start with the bottom one. That's the net position. So we can see that the net position is still well above its average, and although it did decline a little bit there, we have nothing to worry about. And if we zoom in here on the percentage part of the indicator, we can see right here we're well above the 80. That's our first target that we wouldn't want to go below. But even if we do go below that, it'd be the 60 that we want to make sure that we stay above. And as long as that happens, we are looking to replicate this. Now, I honestly thought back, throughout these first 2 weeks that it would be kind of like what happened here in August, where it's just one straight week lower, then it quickly gave us a reversal. But as you guys have seen for the past, let's see, 3, 6, 9, about 9 weeks, we really haven't gotten any bullish weekly reversals, and if anything, we've been getting actually our monthly level was actually bearish, right? So throughout all these weeks, I think this big week right here was the only one that was bullish, and a few weeks here also gave us bullish, and then the minute we turn and hit 52K on this week right here, we got the bearish signal, and then we've been bearish ever since. Now, this week is actually the first week that we're going to be back bullish. But before we get into the price action stuff, I just want to let you guys know that again, this was always a possibility that we come back for this first weekly demand or maybe this discount right here. And then we would have to wait and see for the weekly levels to guide us and to see how the price is going to develop. But as of now, I'm still long-term bullish based on the COT, and hopefully this can guide us, and then we can have a nice move higher. But we're gonna need these short-term levels in price to give us that reversal. So with that being said, let's move on to that part of the video, because I'm sure you guys are very interested to know, how we're looking there. Okay, so let's move on to the part of the video that you guys all love, because of course everyone wants to know what zones and levels we should be paying attention to. So in order to do that, let's go ahead and move on to our 4-hour chart. And I actually had just zoomed out of this, and I found it funny. These are levels all the way back from November here, late October and early November. You can see we were clearly bullish there, bounced off as a discount, bounced off here, and those are really the last times that our weekly levels were actually bullish. And then ever since then, you can see swing high, swing low, premium, and that was our weekly levels were bearish. Swing high, swing low, premium, weekly low was bearish. Right here, I do remember, I think our weekly level turned bull. Actually, no, that's a lie. Our weekly level to start December was right at the high here, and then we had just crossed below it, and then that's what led to this massive drop. And so you definitely, again, we would have seen it coming, and we had to reduce our positions there. And then, like I just said right here, that caused, so when I draw this out, that's because of the weekly level, and that's exactly the same thing I would be doing right now, right? Because when the week started, prices were above, so you can see right here, where's the weekly open? I kind of can't see it. Not quite sure why it's not showing me the weekly open, but nonetheless, I know it's right here. I think it's because it's also the 3-day open. I think that's why. So when the week opened right here, we were right above the weekly level. We tried going below with 2 candles right here, and then by the time Monday closed, we had already recovered that drop and then closed above it, right? So then the minute you close above it, let's go to the daily candle right here. Then that means you have to be bullish on the 11th. That was yesterday on Tuesday, and that means today you're bullish as well, okay? And now we went over all this on our Discord chat and all that, because this is exactly the type of place where we talk about this. So we come here. I'm pretty sure Misha spoke about this right here. So BTC ended up going ended up being below us. Yep, so that means price was below it, and that was a good thing for it, of course. So you can see, there we go, right here. So this is when we posted it right there in the group, and you can see that we had just messed around, right? So the price had gone down, had gone up, and now I had used it as support right there. So based on that, we were bullish, and then basically our idea right now is that we should be seeing some sort of resistance right here. And there's a lot of other stuff that we haven't talked to you guys about that is resistance right here, but based on the information that we've talked about, so you guys, so we can speak in the same language here, the quarterly open is there, the monthly open is there, and that's also our monthly level, okay? So this zone right here, basically this entire zone decides whether this monthly candle will be bullish or bearish, okay? And that's very important for us, because we want to make sure that we can cross back above it. But I have the feeling that what's going to end up happening is we're going to hit it, and there's going to be some distribution in the SMI. We could already see that the SMI was turning, less bullish, right? It went from strong accumulation to now just weak accumulation. So we're gonna have to be very, very careful as we're hitting this swing high, swing lows resistance. Let's go ahead and mark that out, that we don't get the weekly level maybe next week turn back bearish. Okay, so that's what I'm eyeing right now. We did have 42,000 as a target. Again, you guys don't know why, but just know that that was our target to the downside. And I also had 38,000. Now, because we're now above the weekly level, I don't expect to hit 38,000. So let's go ahead and mark that out, see how close we got to it. I know we missed it, at least on this price right here. Is that 38,000? Yes, there it is. So we did miss it by a few percentages. Let's see, we missed it by, yeah, about 4%, 4.5%, which is not bad at all. And then we were able to go back above 42K. So again, now we're targeting this right here. But I do have, again, I hope I'm wrong and that the distribution is not strong enough, and then next week we go below our weekly level. But there's just a lot of resistance here. We're going to have to slice right through it if we want to be bullish. Now, if we do end up going above that, then obviously I have to retarget 52K. And then after that, I'll give you guys some more targets either on Twitter or maybe on next week's weekly video. So with that being said, guys, I will have to say that I am actually quite excited to see what happens here, because we're getting definitely into that threshold where this could be the low of the year. If we get the right environment and the right stuff go our way, then we can have a really nice February, hopefully. Just in time for the rate hikes in March. So I'm not looking forward to that, and that'll be very interesting to see how that develops. So with that being said, guys, I hope you found some value in this. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and share it with your friends and family. Give us a thumbs up. Maybe comment in the video something I can do better, some stuff you'd like to see. Maybe some other altcoins you'd like to see or something like that, us to do an analysis on. So take care, guys. Follow the week levels. Remember, this premium right here is going to be very, very interesting for us. And as long as we stay above this, like always, we're bullish. If we go below it, we're bearish and targeting 38K. So with that being said, talk to you soon. Peace.